Hi, my name is Brian, and I own a little computer repair shop in South Florida. And today we are going to learn how to properly clean the dust out of a desktop computer. And this is an old custom built job here, which you can see is loaded down with a lot of dust and things. And we're going to take this apart and clean it properly so that it runs well. This actually has shut down a few times due to a thermal event. So that's a bad thing. If your computer is turning itself off due to those thermal events, then you really need to take action immediately. So I pulled the two screws out of the side panel here, and then we're going to slide this over to the back of the computer and pull open the lid. And I don't know how much you can see of this here, but it is really caked with dust and things, and we need to get all that out of there. So screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver is good, and a vacuum, and we may need some other various tools, and we'll see what we find. Make sure you do this without anything plugged into the computer. That's first and foremost. Before you even pull this panel off, make sure you disconnect the power, disconnect the monitor, disconnect everything. Do not have anything plugged into this. And that's just a general rule of thumb. The one thing that we're going to do first is pop up these little tabs here to try to get at the CPU fan, and I'm going to pull the power on the CPU fan and pull these little brackets up and try to pry this whole cooling assembly off. Probably not a bad idea is to have a black stick handy and a flat-headed screwdriver when you do this. This is a black stick here. It's kind of a non-marring tool, and if you have to really get at what you're looking at, you may have to pull off some of these pieces here that are blocking your screws and pull out a card. You know, like this one here. I'm going to pull out the video card because it is in the way of what I'm up to here, and it in itself is quite dusty. And then that way I have better access to this cooling apparatus here. I'm going to go ahead and just wedge my screwdriver in there. This is an Intel chip. I don't know what it is, a P4 perhaps. And the cooling fans on these are kind of a pain to get rid of. And this little lever is supposed to pop that off, but it appears as if it's broken. Really need to get that bracket off of there to pull this off. There we go. Loosening it up now. Probably been a while since this has been done on this machine. Maybe possibly never. Hung up. There we go. Alright. Now, this whole thing popped off of the chip and out of the bracket, which is a good thing. That's what we wanted. You want to be real gentle when you're doing this type of thing because you don't want to accidentally break something. As you can see, there is no way that that's even cooling anything right now. So I'm just going to take and pry this off and expose the mess that's underneath there. This is really bad, and this needs to be cleaned. So First step is, after we've gotten this done, is we're going to vacuum all this toxic mess up. I'm going to switch on the vac and do that. Really what we were trying to do with this is just get the majority of this dust off of these devices, because we're going to use some compressed air in a little bit, and we're going to clean them even more thoroughly with compressed air. But you don't want that stuff blowing around your shop or your area, so use the vacuum as much as you can to get up the majority of it. And as you can see, like down in here, there's a ton of dust down in there, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of that also right now. Okay, so we've got that pretty much vacuumed out in there. There's a couple little spots maybe that I'll hit again, but next step is going to be removing the old thermal paste that's on this cooling system, and so we do that with a razor blade. We're just going to peel this off. This stuff is made out of lithium, actually, so you kind of want to be careful with it. You don't want to get a whole lot of it on your hands. At this point, though, it's kind of rendered down into a hard mess, and we'll take the majority of it off, scrape a majority of it off with this razor blade, and then what we're going to do is use some alcohol swabs and clean it off the rest of the way. And not only do you have to pull it off of the cooling system, but you also want to take it out of the chip. So you can lift that lever, and then you can take the chip and you can scrape it off and clean it, because in a moment we're going to use some swabs and we're going to clean that properly. These alcohol prep swabs I buy at like CVS or Walgreens in a bulk pack there, and they're perfect for this, and they're really perfect to have around the house too, because you can do, whenever you need to clean something electronic, you can use these and get whatever it is. Alcohol cleans and evaporates all at the same time, so it's actually really handy to have those around. We're going to go ahead and continue this. You want this fairly clean, okay? Doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be. You should be able to see that copper through there, or aluminum through there, so that when you apply the new paste, it'll adhere. I'm pretty happy with that. That's okay. And then on this chip, we're going to go ahead and clean it fairly well, being really careful to not damage these little gold pins that are underneath. Okay, fairly clean is good. Getting the bulk really is what we're doing. And that's good enough for me. Alright. And when you put these chips back into the socket, there's a little triangle, a little gold triangle at the upper corner. This is a Pentium 4 chip. And then there's a little triangle on the socket. You just have to point the triangle at where the other triangle is, seat it down in there, and push the lever down and clip it into place. And that's done. The next step is we're going to grab some new thermal paste, apply it to our chip, squeeze it out in there, trying to hit all the good spots. This one is almost out. I always keep some extra thermal paste lying around, so in case I need it. That one's almost out too. Go for the big guns here. Okay, that's good. And we are going to just blow this clean, this fan clean. Majority of the dust out of that. Off of that. Off of that. And we're going to put this all back together again. That kind of clips into place. There we go. Alright, now it's done in. And don't forget to plug your fan back in. Okay. CPU fan goes down in there. Plugs back in, and you kind of have to be a little bit of a contortionist to get it seated properly. Okay. Plug anything else back in that you've removed in this process. This is a CPU power here, and this is the video card. It was really, really dusty. Plug it back in. Screw back. And I think we're there. That is the proper way to clean a desktop cooling system. And it takes a little bit of time and some tools, but I think it's worth doing. So if you got a desktop that needs some help, do that once or twice a year, and you will maintain the life and prolong the life of your desktop PC. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and please subscribe if you can. Thanks. Bye-bye.